Welcome.
Hello everyone, we're back from winter break. We just had our February event and we'll be back on March 2nd to do our electronics event. We are also having a new member of our team join.
Hi, my name is Wanya. I'm the new outreach coordinator.
Alright, so because our take-home activities are very self-explanatory, we decided that we would instead do a demo of one of our event activities. For this, it's called Fish Fetch. If you are on our email list, you probably have gotten the activity guide, and this will be on the activity guide, but I will walk you through it. So, you'll need some beads, a notepad and a pencil, and a calculator, although if you want to do the division in your head or on a piece of paper, that's your free will. You're also going to need a poster board and some tape, as well as like a little piece of foam that we have here. This is going to be your survey boat. You will want your grid to be divided up into 10 centimeter squares. So then what you're going to do is you are just going to scatter a random amount of beads across this grid. So once you have all your beads scattered and cleaned up if they fell, what you're going to do is take a guess at how many you think are out there on that grid, like all of the beads. And, you know, I'm going to guess maybe like 95. Probably not, but who knows? So then what you're going to do is you're going to take one of these foam pieces that is going to be your survey boat, and you are going to toss it like that. The whole point is that it's supposed to bounce and be random. So, you know, something like that works. Do try to not aim for stuff, but just try to have it fall wherever it goes. And yeah, then what you're going to do is you're going to count how many are in that square on the grid. So for this one, we have So you're going to do those throws 5 times, and what you're going to do then is you should be recording how many beads you found in each of those squares, and what you're going to do is you're going to add those up. So, you know, I'll add up 16, 2, 7, 2, and 8 together. That is a total of 35. If we have a total of 35, and we divide that by 5, the number of throws that we did, that's going to be our average of how many beads, or theoretically fish, that we found in these squares. And that gets us 7. So on average, a square is going to have 7. Now that's not actually the case, but it's a estimate on average. So next what we're going to do is we're going to count how many squares there are on the grid. 35. So then what we're going to do is multiply our average by the number of squares that we have. Since if on average a square is going to have 7, then all these squares should roughly be around 7 fish. So if we multiply the grid by that, we should get a rough idea of how many there probably are. And that would be 245, which is much higher than my own guess of 245. Yeah, there's no way that is actually 245. That is probably an error in sampling, because we had quite a few squares that had really high numbers. Our first square was 16, but that seems like an outlier compared to the others, because we had 2 2s and a 7 and an 8 for the other trials. So that is what we call an outlier, and we wouldn't normally include that. So we'd probably want to retry if there was that type of outlier in a sampling. Now, this is actually kind of one of the many issues with this type of surveying. This isn't used as much nowadays for sampling fish population numbers, because it's not very accurate, because sometimes fish cluster in one area and they don't cluster in another, but you just have this grid that is trying to estimate based on that entire grid. But that's not really applicable to real life, you know? If we tried to get the average population of Minnesota and we did that by dividing into squares, there'd be a lot of empty squares and there'd be a lot of really full squares around the Twin Cities. So just like how it wouldn't be very applicable to Minnesota to do that, it's not very applicable to do that to an area of the ocean, especially when you have fish that may migrate, and so therefore their population will shift all the time. One of the things that is being done to avoid both the disruption that surveying can cause by like catching fish, because if you were grabbed out of your home all of a sudden and counted and then thrown back in, that'd be kind of uncomfortable at the very least. So we are trying to avoid doing that, and we're trying to figure out ways to do better counts. Often that means counting more thoroughly, because when you only count 5 squares on a 35 grid, that's not as many as, like, say, if you did 10 squares or 12 squares. That'd be getting you a much better number. And then another thing we do is to avoid human contact and to try to get a better count more easily is to do echolocation, where like how bats use echolocation to locate bugs. We're using the same kind of method to see when those sound waves hit fish and count that to get an idea of their population. And that seems to be working better. There's always room for improvement.